Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Technogate Presents Vampire the Masquerade. So we're going to be doing our first major session here after character creation for Vampire the Masquerade. Technogate has created newly formed vampiric bodies that they will use to infiltrate the vampires. They have a Tremere contact inside of the city that will be assisting them, um, and they are going to be heading to the Elysium in order to meet up with their contact, which is um, the Inferno down in Madison. So let's go ahead and start off with just a round of introductions for our new vampire characters. Petrie, go ahead and tell us a little bit about your character and what does she look like?
Petrie, or PD for short, uh, is usually covered in a thick cloak. You rarely get to see what her full form is. She's a Nosferatu, so she is horribly disfigured, gray, pale skin. If you yanked back the hood, you'd probably uh, think she was very similar to that puppet from Tales of the Crypt esque. Uh, most of she, if you looked at her, you could tell she probably had a luscious dreads at one point, but now there's only like maybe 3 or 4 strands left on her skull. Glowing yellow eyes, and usually rocking a cane. Uh, She has been in the sewers of Madison for a very long time. And if you heard her name, it's usually because you're in need of her services for various drugs or information.
Awesome. And so you're Nosferatu. Do you have what's your look when you're using your Mask of 1,000 Faces for the,
I
because I believe you
switched it
have that.
out. I don't have that. I only have one level of obfuscate. She is going
Okay.
to be rocking this cloak, the entire time. Uh,
Ah.
she put all her points into animalism.
Ooh. Okay. Cool. All right. And then so Greta, tell us a little bit about your character and what does she look like?
Um, so uh Kreta got infused with the blood of a Bruja, uh Danny Bone Crusher Smith, um, who was the epitome of a stereotypical Bruja. So she is feeling the power, and um I think her backstory is that she was kind of like on the wrestling scene, and I'm imagining like Glow, but in the appropriate timeline, and she's now just a bodyguard for PD because she can't actually hurt people in wrestling, and she feels the rage, she feels the blood frenzy, and Gresn's just kind of losing her mind a little bit. She's very strong, very dexterous, and basically Vampire She-Hulk. Uh, Sorry, I don't have a ton of nuance right now, but she's there to be the muscle, which is very unusual for Gretchen. So, and she just looks like Kate Beckinsale from Underworld because they stole all the stuff from White Wolf, so I stole the picture back to use it for the game right now. So, keeping it simple.
Nice. All right, Mako, tell us a little bit about your character and what does he look like?
Yeah, Mako is he basically looks like Hugh Jackman in Wolverine, like wife beaters, real burly, no claws, no metal claws at least. Um, he is on a wandering quest from Seattle to visit kin in New York. He is a venture. And currently on a layover in Madison, doing a little bit of recovery. And that's what has been decided thus far.
Awesome. And then Cash, tell us a little bit about your character and what does he look like?
All right, so this is Motorori. I normally play Psycho, and my vampire will be Cash Voir. He is a nondescript European who always wears a suit. He is thin with blonde hair. The thing that you'll notice about him, if you're in the same room with him for a while, is that he never shows emotions. If you ever get in a fight around him, you'll find out that he carries a concealed pistol. And the thing that the local vampires, if they try to find out anything about him, they'll only be able to find out that he's fascinated with occult artifacts, and from whatever wealth he has, he just kind of shows up in cities and just starts asking around.
All right, awesome. So you guys are kind of just birthed out of the, the cloning chambers. There's probably a feel of, all of you guys kind of burst out. There's water all over the place. You're kind of breathing for the very first time with actual air. And the sensation like hits you guys really hard because there's like your mind has now kind of mixed in with this being and has like for the first, there wasn't another mind there. You kind of put your mind into it and then overwrote, with, all this crazy magic that's kind of going into this procedure that's happening here. But you notice there are a few things like immediately that kind of hit you. One, is that I take it all back. You didn't breathe in anything because you aren't breathing at all. You are dead, and that kind of shocks you. You kind of think about the idea of like that you haven't been breathing for a while, and it like scares you for just a second as you're kind of gathering your senses. You also feel a deep like hunger that's inside of you. Even at your full blood pool, you can feel there's still something there that like there's well, you don't have any humans around you right now, right? You don't have any assistants at this point. So luckily, it actually would be kind of disturbing because you kind of, you can't even really sense creatures around you, but you normally have a feeling like, you can just kind of sense blood. Like it's, something you can pick up from a distance, kind of like a dog does for other smells.
Wait, where are our bodies?
I'm gonna say that your bodies are in kind of what looks like an MRI machine. That they're constantly getting uploaded, and there's your 4 pods that you have of the 4 MRI machines that you guys are kind of in, constantly being scanned and projected out into these bodies, and then there was like 4 test tube, back to tanks that you guys were formed inside of. And this would all be inside of Technogate. So you guys are birthed out. One of the other things that you can kind of feel too is that you can feel a level of humanity in you that you haven't really had before. Because before you could literally just start killing people. But now like the farther away, the more kind of inhumane of a person you are, the more that you're slipping to this beast that is inside of you. And this is kind of like an instinctual kind of thing that just kind of, all these things kind of just flood you in the very beginning. So, be careful about just murdering people. The GM's suggestion here. I'm guessing you guys are going to go get dressed, and then you're going to be leaving Technogate. How are you going to be leaving Technogate? Does anybody have resources? Or are you going to be using like a car from Technogate?
Is your mom's house gonna kill us if we went inside of it?
I have one dot in drive
would
just
think-
in case no one knows how to drive.
Of course, I don't know how to drive.
I mean, I would think we would plan ahead for if we're going through the house.
Well, it's my understanding that's the only way in and out of the Technogate besides using Technogate, or besides using the gate.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, we can go out the front door, right?
Well, yeah,
Nah,
there
we,
is.
we've sealed all that up.
Oh, yeah, the elevator. Yeah, you guys aren't letting anybody use that at all and shut it down completely. I mean, you
It's
could
a safety
rebuild it if
thing.
you want, but
We've got like our own little base that you can only get to via transport, like the Institute and Fallout. That's not a great comparison because hopefully we're better than them, but it's very secure.
Well, we've established that Tycho's mom's house has a garage that's quite full of cars, don't we?
this is true. Yes.
I
So
feel
I'm
like
sure we can pick one that's appropriate.
before we went to Nana and Pop-Ops, like I'm gonna refer to it as Gretchen's going to refer to it as like going to grandparents' house, but it's really like for like sci-fi pods in a technocracy room. That we probably downloaded like the DNA signatures of the clones into your mom's like machine, so we know it won't like laser us to death or something. I feel like that prep would have happened.
Yeah, you're fine with that.
Okay.
So my question would be, have we established that we're all going to be showing up there, or are we supposed to all like show up separately?
No, you guys are
What's
showing
the-
up as the coterie, as a group of vampires that work together for
Oh,
your
okay.
your group goal that you'll have. Vampires are very communal creatures. Some of them obviously aren't. Some of them get to, the higher the level that you are, the more likely that you might not have a coterie. But even princes will have coteries and stuff like that. Usually it's with the primogen that they have. So, but I would say, yeah, you guys are currently scheduled to meet with the Tremere at Inferno, and she will take you to the Elysium and kind of fill you in on what's going on.
Well, as soon as I see my appearance, I'm like, oh, well, that's not good. I rummage through all of my old clothes to conceal as much as possible. Put my hood up. Clearly, I must have fucked something up on my body. Uh, and then I bandage everything else to make myself look more like a burn victim than something clearly grotesque. Seeing as I have to be above ground and amongst people.
I'll like look at your chart and I was like, you're a Nosferatu, and then I'll just like break the tablet I'm reading it from with like my like super strength or something. I'm just like, oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Isn't there a thing where we don't want to be like driving around during the day? Isn't that kind of important?
Oh, what
We'll
time is
start.
it?
We'll say that this is so we are in the year 2000 right now, and it is we'll say, I don't know. We haven't have. What was the last month? I'm trying to remember what month we're in. I don't think we've truly established. But we'll do like an August time period, and so in that case, then it'd have to be pretty late. So we're gonna say it's like 10 o'clock. So it's dark out, 10 p.m.
I feel like if Ferris Bueller can synchronize their watches, we can use technology to make sure we wake up at night. Like,
Oh, and you'll in the pamphlets that you've read, like it's very hard for you to stay awake during the night or during the day. You have to either spend a willpower point or you take negatives for being up during the day. Just the concept of being surrounded by daylight like weakens your character to a certain degree.
Yeah, so our circadian rhythm just kind of flipped automatically because of the new creature that's also with us.
Yeah, and you're also dead, so sleeping is a little bit easier.
Mm.
Not so tossy-turny unless there's something wrong with you.
All right, I can drive. It's if so desired.
All right, so you guys have no problem getting, into your mother's house, getting into a car. I'm guessing you switch everything all over so that it's in, who wants to own the car? Just for, not that it will probably will never come up, but hey, now I have something that maybe I will bring up later.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do we as a group collectively go to the Dodge Neon because we're just so used to that and that's what we do now? Or do we stop before we go there and we go like, no, we need something cooler, and like we get in like some rad vehicle or something like that?
I really just feel like we should be driving a Lincoln Town Car.
Yeah, I mean, something expensive. I think I would insist on it.
What's your
Same.
highest?
Yeah, we have
Who
we
has
have a body
resources,
up.
by the way?
We have two bodyguards and two. I forgot that we had set that up.
I think I forgot to spend stuff and resources, which
But
makes
this is
no sense
Tycho's
to me.
mom's cars. So like, do we really need resources for a fancy car?
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying. So there's two different things here. There's stuff you're getting from Technogate. So like, Petrie can have access to a bunch of crazy shit inside of Technogate. That's fine. I mean, just like you guys, and so you guys get this car. All that's Technogate stuff. But then there's stuff that your characters actually have access to. It does look weird if all of you have no resources, but you guys are running around in pimped out cars. But there's nothing that's actually traceable in the character's histories how they actually get this kind of money, which is not necessarily a problem because you can just be like, I'm a rich boy, maybe there is that's your explanation. You have nothing backing that actually in the real world. But I'm just putting it out there for who has resources, because this is all the magic of it all, that like it goes, somebody went out and rented, you had an agent go out and buy you a house and then a car and a bunch of other shit. I've got an underground layer now because I contracted it out to somebody.
I feel like I don't have
Robots.
personal resources. I'm just paid by PD. So, and she would be however a drug dealer hides their money, so it would probably be all cash.
Yeah.
So
I think I spent most of my points into contacts and stuff, so I'm thinking most of my money is away from me at this time, hence why I ain't got no resources.
So I feel like we took like a wad of cash out of Technogate from
Yeah.
like the petty cash fund.
That's fine. I just want to distinguish different things, because resources in this game will mean that you still have Technogate you can rely on, but you want to make sure at this point I would probably break most ties with Technogate, because the more, like going back to Technogate, if anybody follows you, anything like that, like these are undercover agents, so the less you have connecting you to Technogate, the better.
Yeah.
But so you're saying if one of us had like 3 dots in resources, that's actually the illusion of resources if somebody looks into it?
Not just illusion, it's the truth. Like that character has that access to those resources as if they had always had access to them, even though they might have, if they say I own this corporation, then the computer went out and bought the fucking corporation for you and put it back in the back deeds that you've owned it for X amount of years.
So what corporation do we want to own 9/10 of? So we can say.
You can play it like
I'm
Angel.
good. Yeah. I just like if you like talk to Greta, she's just like, I got all the resources right here, and she just like holds up like a gun and some brass knuckles. Like she's like, I'm good.
So yeah, does anybody actually have resources?
I mean, I didn't take it because I didn't think we would even need the illusion of it.
I mean, you don't need necessarily the illusion of it. But
I did 1 dot in resource.
do keep in mind that, and this is still allowing you to like make some changes to your characters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is it comes to, because vampires are very like detail oriented creatures and very picky and nosy into stuff, but also you should be hiding all of this shit anyways. No, it's not like you walk out and you're like, hey, this is my company and da 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 da. It's just when people come and start digging into you, the more that there isn't anything behind your resources, the more that that can become a question. And that might become dirt that somebody pulls up on you, because vampires are fucking nosy motherfuckers trying to always figure out
And
shit.
we punch them in the face. That's how I'm gonna deal with that.
That's how a Bruja would. So,
I switched out my alternate identities for 2 in resources because that made more sense.
okay. Other than that, you know, there, like I said, you guys can still have access to your Technogate resources. It just also becomes a connection that comes to your character to a certain degree. You know, there's like, I'm gonna give this car to you, but we're gonna switch it out and put it in somebody's name. You know.
Okay. You can put it in mine.
Yeah, since you've got resources, that makes sense.
I'm taking my guns. Not like all of them, but the regular carry.
Yeah, that's good. All right, so you guys head out of Tycho's mom's house without a problem. Make it up to Commercial and here. Trying to find the Sherman and Commercial.
Hey, Cash, can I be your driver? Can I tell people that I'm your driver?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, I'm already adding. I'm adding notes to my background for the next time we start.
And Greta, you're my bodyguard?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Petrie, I think you and I have done business deals in the past.
Yeah.
We sit in the back.
Of course.
All right, so your drive. Well, let's have you just do a very basic drive difficulty of 4 check.
The first role as a new character.
First roll as a vampire. Oh crap! They don't have the buttons for. How do you?
No, they don't.
So I'm going to be rolling manually. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, just roll d10s.
That's fine. Yeah, I
Yeah, that
prefer
sucks.
to do it that way. Actually, I like to.
There's a
type it
whole page on the thing up at the top. If you click dice, but I think for now, probably just roll manually.
out. I'm the driver.
Oh yeah, so you drive, no problems, no issues. Is a guy that kind of like does like a stupid maneuver, and you know, you just go around and, you know, are able just to ignore them completely. And everything goes fine. You guys get to the Inferno. Looks like there's let me just I'm just gonna give you guys like a link to like some basic pictures of the Inferno. But it's kind of like this little small bar. It's almost like the size of like a small house, basically, one floor. And there's like a dance floor, bar to your right, and a bar up on like a stage area. Everything seems to be very quiet and relaxing tonight. We're gonna say that it's a Wednesday night. And so nothing's really going on. There's like a couple people at the bar, and everything's kind of there's like a pool table off there. There's like two people at the pool table. All of them, you know, wearing like alternative clothing and hairstyles, like different colors, you know, spike hair, still very 90s, you know. It's just the 2000s so far. But you guys arrive, and I forgot to even say to you guys that you guys are before you get into the bar, I want everybody to make a perception plus alertness, difficulty of 7. We'll still be doing 10s equal 2 successes.
No, Petrie, you rolled d20s. Oh, there we go. Okay.
All right, so everybody that got 3 successes or more, we will say, let's see, we're still waiting for one. Is that, no, is that everybody? That's everybody. So that will be Phaedra, Greta, and oh, that's an interesting. How'd you get it to do the breakdown like that?
Because I went to the dice rolling page.
Oh,
Although,
I am
I
building
mean, it
them
was
as
kind
I
of a bad
use
roll.
them.
It should be 2 successes though.
oh, because yeah, it you got a 10.
Because it rolled a 10, but yeah.
Okay, so it would be
Oh, would I get a bonus for Auspex?
you could have heightened senses running. You can kind of just turn that. It doesn't cost any points. And I'll say like you get like a twinge that if you wanted to, so it would lower the difficulty by 2. Which would not change anything.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with that. That's good.
But you still got it at multiple, you know, you got 5 successes here, 5 successes with Petrie. Greta got 5 successes. 6.
Because I got 2 10s and then 2 7s.
Oh, yeah.
I had 2 successes with my 10.
Anyway, so you guys hear off in the distance, the more successes that you have, you know, it kind of goes all the way from like 1 success, you hear like something off in the distance, but you can't really make it out. 3 successes is you can kind of hear a scream, or a shriek from something, And at 5 successes, you can hear a shriek and like a bunch of laughter and a little bit of yelling. The shriek, though, definitely was much louder than anything else. So, but you got to have 3 successes to hit that. Anyway, so, but you guys are heading into the bar. So do you ignore the side
Did
quest?
the noise come from the bar or from somewhere else?
It came from about at 5 successes. It's like 2 blocks down in an alleyway.
I want to use my animalism and chitter to a rat, like beckon one to me.
Okay.
And then I give it the command to go find out what that is and report back.
All right. What is the that real quick here? Animalism is pretty awesome. And just getting to
So I think so. Basically, I'm using fair whispers, the first level.
well, if you already have the communication, but you're doing beckoning because you have to actually summon it, unless you make it, I guess, another perception plus alertness just to find you're looking for a rat.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the world of darkness, so I'll give it a possibility. Roll perception plus alertness, difficulty of 8.
8. Okay. 1 success. Why does it say 5?
I'm not
What
sure
did
why
I
it says
do?
5, but we
Got 1
see what
success.
yeah, 1 success. I will say that yeah, you spot like a rat that's just like going down into one of the like the water sewer area, the where all the water washes down.
It's like, we're busy, we got shit to do, but like, I'm also curious, so I chitter and tell it to
No
go.
roll is necessary to talk to the animal, but the character must establish eye contact. That's fine. Issuing commands requires a manipulation plus animal can roll. Difficulty depends on the creature. Predatory animals are difficulties of 6. Pigeons and snakes and other birds and reptiles are 8, 7 for 7 for rats and owls. So 7.
So 7? Okay, so my manipulation and animal can. Cool.
Are there other? I failed my listen check. Are there other people like milling about, maybe smoking outside? Are there people that we see?
Actually, on a Wednesday night, 10 o'clock, there are other people like going in and out of behind it. There's like a little strip mall kind of area of a bunch of convenience stores.
It's 3.
One of them is
So
a
6
is a
dice.
bar or is a liquor store, and that's having a bunch of traffic right now where nothing else is really having traffic. Even this bar on a Wednesday night is not at this point. There's no special event that's happening or anything this night, so it's quite dead in this area.
4 successes for me.
But there is a bunch of people moving back, and we're going into the liquor store because it's 9 o'clock everywhere else except for here. It's midnight, so and it is past 9 o'clock. So yeah, you have enough successes, I'm going to say, so you wanted to go investigate for you,
Yeah.
and then report back.
Yep.
Yeah, not a problem. And so he's able to do that fairly quickly. Does anybody else want to take any other actions before the rat gets back, which will be, probably a couple minutes?
I'm going to lock my P90 in the trunk, and actually, I would have already been in there, and I'll just have my pistol on me, just for concealment purposes. I don't know exactly what we're walking into right now, so
Yeah, I got full gear. I got trench coat. I'm good. Apparently, Kate Beckinsale wears a big white trench coat in like the third movie or something, so I'll just wear that.
Okay. And Cash, any specific thing that you're doing, or are you? I guess is anybody informing other people of this? Like, are you guys talking amongst each other regarding what's happening here?
I didn't hear anything.
I let Greta know, just in case.
Just Greta.
I let the people know. I let them know
Okay.
that I heard, yeah, all that stuff, and I sent Rat to go look.
And once you send the rat, I'm like, that's a good plan. That is a nifty power. Should we wait out here, or do we
a
want to?
generalized perception aware?
Oh, you cut out?
Can I do a generalized perception awareness roll?
Awareness would be more like supernatural or kind of. I guess I mean you could go ahead and do
Yeah,
a
I think
roll. Yeah, that's fine if you want
with
to stretch out with your
aspects,
feelings.
right?
Yeah, you can even do that with a lower 2 on your difficulty. So difficulty would be 6. So that would drop it down to 4 for you.
Well, I only have aspects 1, so it should only lower it by 1.
Oh, is it? They changed it, didn't they?
Yeah, it lowers the difficulty by the number you have in aspects.
That's even better, except for at the lower levels.
Yeah.
At the lowest level, I guess.
I think I should have 1 less die than it rolled.
But you still,
I got a lot.
You got a lot. We'll take that. That's fine. You kind of stretch out with your feelings of trying to open your awareness to your surroundings. There doesn't seem to be anything special coming from the noise area, but this whole building has like a mix feelings of like very passionate emotions and darkness, but also love and fun and happiness. Like there's like just a mixture of immense emotion that's coming from this place. You've having been like a natural person, in your past life of being Tycho, understanding the other dimensions and universes, and it's got a very, and you kind of know this just from being here in the dreaming. It's got a very strong presence inside of the dreaming. It has a very strong astral presence, and there is much more to this place than normal. Even with you can kind of even feel warding of some sorts that is kind of going on here.
I think the only thing I'll say to anybody else is just to Petrie, there's just a lot going on here. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, I
I can
heard
hear
you.
you now, yeah.
I'm just not Petrie to respond to you, but I'll be
Anyway,
like,
I'm done.
let's just go.
Yeah,
I was
I'm
just worried.
gonna
And
I'm
Greta
gonna
cracks her knuckles.
obfuscate just a little bit because the anxiety of being around other people is daunting in this form.
All right, so you're gonna find a shadow to jump into.
Yeah, preferably Greta's.
Well, one problem you're gonna have is that the rat's gonna return, which pretty much does at this point, and then it can't find you. It kind of
Oh,
looks around.
okay. Well, never mind. I'll wait till it reports back.
Yeah. So he sees you now, and he pops over, and he's like, "All right, so there seems to be this scrawny college boy is in the back, and there's like 5 guys that are surrounding them, and then 2 guys in the shadows of a back alley. The light is broken in that area, and they're just pushing him around, telling him to give him money, and there's a bullying that's happening. But
Okay.
it might not stop at giving money because I don't know. Those guys seem like they're out for blood.
Is she talking, or is the rat talking in rat speak, and she's and you're understanding?
It's chittering. Yeah. Like it's not like it's making full, and I have to chitter back.
I just like the idea of you doing Grok from Emperor's New Groom talking to squirrels. Squickity, squick, squeak.
Squeak, squeaker, squeak, squeakity.
Our characters do this all the time in regular Technocrat, though. Between insurance and Steve the cat. Like
yeah.
Is this really anything new? Us talking to animals very intently.
So it doesn't feel like it's our problem at all. That's what it boils down to. Okay.
On one hand,
I pat the rat and dismiss him. Good job.
on one
so
hand,
then I let everybody else know what's going on.
And the other hand, I don't want to. The first day we're in Madison, because we all just arrived here. I don't want to piss off a local power player who's playing a little game, that might be hiding in the shadows over there. So maybe we go and talk to our dude and try to get a lay of the land first. Maybe we can bring it up with him. We can go from there. That's my take.
We got shit to do. So, I kind of start walking towards the bar. Is that our problem?
I don't think so.
Our problem? I'm cracking my knuckles a lot. I think that's.
It appears that it's not lucrative at all in any capacity.
You find that Mako is now standing next to Gretchen. What's your
Greta.
Okay, that'll
No, God, I said it wrong. Greta Anger.
Okay, that'll be great. That'll be easy to remember. I'm gonna call Cash Tyke at some point, thinking that he also just shortened his name. I'm just like I'm just like I'm not cracking my knuckles, but I'm definitely no. Let's go talk to our dude, and maybe friends can be valuable. I don't know how valuable this particular friend might be, but
Wait, so are we going inside the bar?
We're going to what we're going to do, and we're going to let this guy get mugged and or fed upon. Because none of us are hungry, and none of us want to look like goody two-shoe technocrats. So let's go.
Yeah. Those people sound like they could be potential clients, and I don't want to mess that up.
/ they could also be vampires trying to feed, and then we get a whole fucking turf war because we saved one person.
Because we don't understand how the turf operates yet.
Yeah.
I could have asked the rat more questions, but I've already dismissed him.
You're just like, fuck, my contact went away. Jerry, come back.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it, that happens to be our no, our contact's a vampire, right?
It's real human. I will say
Okay.
this in character. I will be like a human in a loose sense, but we're not here to talk to the rats in the walls. It's
So I want
I will just
everybody
reach
that
out and push forward.
is going to be pushing forward and ignoring the event, make um, a conscience roll. Difficulty of, I'm gonna just put this at 6.
So what do we roll with that?
Just straight up conscience?
Just your straight up conscience. Difficulty 6.
God fucking damn it.
Only got 2 in conscience. Okay, come on. Bam!
All right, so you only have 1 in conscience.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Even though you have normally very low conscience regarding these things, everybody here kind of feels like a little bit bad for what's going on. Like you can feel it weighing down on your humanity a little bit. But even if you had failed, it wouldn't have lowered your humanity. So you could you'd have to be pretty moral. I don't think anybody has 10, 9, maybe 8. But really it's more of a 9 or 10 level of humanity that you'd really be needing to worry about this. But everybody else kind of, you got enough to know that a really moral person would definitely go and handle this type of situation. And although
We're
you
not even
didn't do
that
the
moral
moral
as
thing,
humans.
right?
I
But
mean,
it's more
yeah.
when you're dealing with the beast. You can kind of feel the beast kind of feeds off of, this, only if you're at a higher level of morality for your character. But that's just an example of self-control or conscience.
I'm a brand new
Either
vampire.
way,
I
you
am.
could. You can also declare that you wish to fail this role, knowing that there's no consequences for it, and be okay with not feeling bad for doing such a thing.
Gretchen as Gretchen would 1000% help save a person of the consensus. Greta is like, she's in spy mode. Also, when she tapped her vampire personality, it said, "I'm not hungry right now," and she moved on. So
Both Phaedra and Petrie could not have cared less about this person.
I'm still I'm so heavily Malachi at this moment, at least, because we just got these bodies, and so I'm in the same boat as Gretchen/Greta.
I don't like dealing with things that aren't on a planetary scale.
then let's go. And I put my arms out and I just push everyone forward towards where our contact is.
All right, so you guys get into the main area here. Really, only the front bar is open at this point, and you see your contact, Rebecca Troy, who kind of looks like a person out of place and out of time, except for in this bar that might not be so out of place and out of time. But you're seeing a Victorious, era kind of brassiere, and
She's dressed like a hollow one. Is she
Yeah.
dressed like goth?
There's a little bit of goth in there with Victoria era goth kind of dress and in red and black. Her hair is long and black, all done up in a rich kind of money of back
I
in the
physically
day.
cannot help, as Gretchen and Greta, both personalities agree, and I physically cannot help myself rolling my eyes so hard right now. So
Did you say Rebecca Troy?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll be like,
How did we set this up?
This was set up through your father.
Is
Okay.
there anyone in now that we're inside? Is there anyone inside that has taken more notice of us than just a group of people came in on a Wednesday night? That's weird.
Skate at this moment.
Yeah, nobody seems to care or notice you, or the bartender kind of comes up, and the one thing is like normally you would have like a sensation of wanting to drink alcohol or whatever, food, stuff like that, like when you get to a bar, even water, but like the first thing that you kind of think of is like all of that sounds like just kind of makes your stomach wrench. And blood really though sounds like a fucking great thing, right? Like even though you're full,
oh,
it's like I
yeah,
could go for some blood. And
you know,
you kind of get this idea that if you drank anything, including water, you're probably gonna puke all over the place.
yeah, no one took that trait, eat human food, did we? Or is that not an option anymore?
No.
I don't know.
There is a thing that you can do where you can spend a blood point, and for a scene, you can start becoming more human. So you kind of start pumping blood to everything. Um, it is sometimes considered a special technique, but I'll allow all of you guys to be able to do it because there's no special experience ever needed to be spent on doing a
I'm
thing.
just
But
gonna like order like the cheapest. I'm gonna go up, because the bartender caught our eye, and I'm just gonna be like, we do not need him like
as
up in
as
our face right now.
um okay, yeah.
And also, I want to say, Josh, I'm not judging you on how you decided to create your NPC. I just feel like in character, my character would be like, why don't you just put a bigger sign into the booth that says Vampire Mage is sitting here? You know? As Gretchen, she's like, ugh, how could she deviate from reality anymore? Kind of thing. So, like, Gretchen's just gonna take the petty cash that she got from Technogate, go up to the bartender, and just be like, four like Miller Lights or something, just like totally generic, and get them and like bring them over. Like we're probably not gonna even drink them, but we're gonna spend like $12 and just look like we're supposed to be here. And yeah.
All
Well,
right.
if you meet up at a diner, you at least order coffee.
Yeah.
Like yeah. But,
Ash will approach the bar and try to sidle up to Rebecca Troy and make a kind of a show of like looking at the menu, and I'll just kind of try to say out loud to nobody in particular, but try to get her attention and just say,
Well, everybody go ahead and roll a perception plus alertness real quick. Difficulty of 5.
Is Cash gonna be like in mid sentence? Like,
the thing I say out loud is, "Oh, what's good here?"
oh shit! I forgot that I already named myself, so I gotta fix that. I'm not Mel Walter
I
anymore.
was like thinking, how many names do you have for this character?
Oh, Mel Walter is my alternate identity. That's now decided.
Oh my god.
That's it. Yep. All right. So I'm gonna say everybody kind of gets this. There. She's like intently watching you. Like she's identified you, but she's just seeing what you guys are doing. And she hasn't said anything to you at all, but she's got this stupid smirk on her face.
Makes me
And
want to punch her, even
that's what we
knowing
notice.
this.
Yeah. And she's just sitting there while you come and sit, you sit down to her. And how do you try and get her attention? I mean, do you
I
say
ask
something?
her out loud, what looks good?
Ah! She says, well, I hear that there's something in the back house that's usually much better. And she extends a hand to you and says, Rebecca Troy, and I believe you are Cash, uh,
Indeed.
Mako,
Cash
Greta,
noir.
uh, Petrie?
Petrie or PD, whichever you prefer.
Hmm. I have
Howdy.
been appraised of the situation that we are in. Would you please follow me?
By all means.
And
Mhm.
she kind of goes into the basement, brings you guys down. The staff completely ignores everything that's kind of going on here. And everybody at the bar was farther away. She was like in a corner area where nobody was at, so nobody was hearing you over the music. It was in fact hard to even kind of probably make out at this point. But as you guys enter into the basement, all of the music dies down, and she takes you multiple levels deep into the basement before you guys get to a bouncer. But before we get there, as she's kind of taking you down all of these areas, she says, I'm sure that you have many questions, and we can take our time as we navigate the paths here. My name is Rebecca Troy. Let's just say that some people are pulling in some very strong favors from me regarding this, and I'm not happy with technomancers infiltrating the vampiric world. But there is an enemy far greater that I fear at this point, and the need to work together is imperative. And I believed that this was one of the only ways that that I could get you into the vampiric society, even with all of your techno magic that you possess. But
Well, it is appreciated. Somebody must have done something very good for you that this is the repayment.
let's just say that there were greater things happening in this world with the greater alliances that need to be maintained.
I want to say something really snippy, but I don't think I should.
Well,
Well, one of the things that I'm sure that you've read in your report, and I just want to make sure is reiterated, is that there are 6 traditions that I would tread very lightly on ever breaking, and ensuring that you always cover up any problem that you create for yourself and myself. I will be vouching for your entry into the city to the prince. But I will be not taking any responsibility for the actions that you take in the city, and my interactions with you will cease more than likely after I introduce you.
understandable.
So this is the time that you have for any questions that you might have about our city. I will also introduce, or there will be many of the top kindred that you will need to know about at tonight's proceedings. And I will give you a small breakdown of each of them so you know a little bit more of what you're getting into. But my assistance will end there, besides this short journey that we have together to the true Elysium.
You
But
mentioned 6 paths.
6 traditions that exist within the vampiric community. The very first tradition is the Masquerade. Thou shalt never reveal thy true nature to those not of the blood. Doing such shall renounce thy claim of blood. As you can see, this is one that is, although first and most important, is also the one that probably gets broken the most. Cover your ass when you do so, please. And don't let other people know that you're letting other people know. Just letting even mages and vampire werewolves and other creatures that I know you know exist have knowledge of us. It is against the first tradition to even reveal ourselves to these others, and can get us in one of the, an extremely deadly position. Always maintain the masquerade that vampires do not exist. The second tradition is the domain. Thy domain is thy own concern. All others owe thee respect while in it. None may challenge thy word while in thy domain. This is pertaining to our princes. This is the idea that the prince is in control of their domain, and it goes down even further to recognized domains of the vampire community are considered to be nation states, if you would, with the leader being the vampire in control of that area. We respect each other's domains and believe in the concept of you are the ultimate emperor of your own land. Progeny. Thy shall only sire another with the permission of thine elder. So pretty much this is you have to get permission from the prince in the case of the Camarilla. The accounting, those shall create are thine own children. Until thy progeny shall be released, thou shalt command them in all things. Their sins are thine to endure. So basically, if you make kids, until you let them go, everything that they do is going to come down on you. Hopefully that won't be a problem for you guys. Hospitality. Honor one another's domains. When thou comes to a foreign city, thou shalt present themselves to one of the ruleth there. Without the word of the apprentice or acceptance, thou shalt are nothing. Oh yeah, so basically, yeah, if you don't present yourself to the prince here, then nobody's going to take you for being a vampire, and you're fair game in all sense of destruction. And then the right of destruction shall only be given to the prince, basically, or the eldest amongst us. There's many debates and scholars as to how to get around many and what of all of these traditions mean. But pretty much in the way that we play it now, it doesn't go down to, you can't destroy somebody in your domain. Only the prince or possibly the eldest amongst us could make such a decision.
And that is destroying another vampire.
Another vampire. You can kill as many humans as you want, but cover your shit up, because the masquerade is number one. And if any human finds out about what's going on here, then you're shit in trouble. And you will find that actually a lot of vampire community is built around the idea of completely and utterly covering each other's asses, even though that we might burn each other at the stake for doing so. There will always be a cover-up. Nobody will know the true nature of our being. Other than that, I can give you a small breakdown of what kind of has been happening as of late. I don't want to get super deep into everything that has happened in this city, but let's just say that I have had a relationship with the tradition mages of this city, although I haven't had much contact with the technocracy before everything changed. Although there have been interactions. What I can tell you is that ever since the Avatar storm, things have changed. And I am well aware of the proceedings of the world of the technocracy and mage, far greater than most beings in this universe. But I can say that almost all of that has changed since, I guess I could say I used to understand what was happening in this universe. Things have changed. And one of them being that one of our great leaders, Tori Redford, has gone missing. And without her control of the vampiric community, the control of the Anarchs has fallen since the beginning of, since 1999. So she used to run the city as an Anarch and had control over the vampire community in a much more, we didn't have a prince, and I know this is kind of going into different geopolitical, but it's not something you need to exactly worry about. But let's just say that I was happier with the old style, but with her missing, things have changed up a little bit. We're not sure exactly what happened to Tori Redford, and there is still an ongoing investigation into her disappearance. And perhaps that is something that if you wish to dig in further. I unfortunately have other tasks that have stopped me from deepening my control over the vampiric community here. Anyways, the current king is Victor King, or the current prince is Victor King, who is a Ventru. He pretty much owns law firms, large pharmaceutical industry. He has dealings with possibly, from rumor has it, that he would have connections with the progenitors and possibly even the syndicate before all of this. Although I believe all of those connections have been lost, if not greatly weakened by the events that proceeded in 1999 with the Avatar storm. And the rest I will kind of introduce to you as we arrive at the bar, and I can kind of point them out. I just believe Victor won't be arriving for a while, so I thought I'd give you a little bit of a heads up and to let you know that he has recently come to power, and things are kind of in a flux in Madison. Do you have any questions for me?
Is there a particular story we are telling to explain our presence here, or is it just up to us to say that we're here for our own reasons?
Your reasons might, it depends on how you want to frame it. Are you going to be staying here considering wanting to have long-term stay here? And if you have a reason for that would be probably necessary. If you're just staying for a short time and you're just visiting, you can always say just personal. In each of these cases, you can elaborate as much or as really little as you want, unless you're pressed. I would say have a story, and I have not come up with one specifically as to why you're here, only what you were in the other vampiric city of New York. That you were just a small cabal in New York. I was able to falsify many things in order to embed you into the vampiric world of New York, and now you're coming to Madison.
Yes, and certainly greatly appreciated again. But that brings up the other question. What are we actually doing here?
To be honest, I haven't been given a privilege of all of that information. All I know is that
Out
you
of
are here for uh, Brock's, or, dang it. I keep on mixing up what your dad's name is. Brock Samsonite?
Buck.
Buck
Yeah.
Samsonite. Buck Samsonite has made this specific request of me to do, or well, and the Rogue Council, as well as some other friends, have called in many favors.
So, out of game, do we know what we're supposed to be doing here?
Yeah, you guys are spying on the vampires and finding out if they're controlled by the demons.
Oh. It'd be so much easier to just kill all of them.
I mean,
Wait, now
is it?
now that I said that out loud, I think maybe the answer is it is not easier to kill them.
I mean, you know what your new body can do. Do you think you could have killed it?
Well, I also know if you wipe out all the vampires in a city, they just get replaced within a month.
That too. Or, the economy implodes because there's nobody spending as much money as them.
Or we just deauthorize all of them and become gods for a month before our bodies get destroyed. Maybe if we're like fucking elder level vampires, we can just punch Beelzebub in the face and it won't matter anymore.
I could just think of all the animals I could control with all that power. Go full Willard and it's just like a city of rats.
We're just like, there's no paradox. We're just self-policing.
Oh my
like,
god, there's no paradox.
There's no
Yeah.
paradox. How is everyone not an elder right now? Like seriously,
We also
in the
don't
20
have
university. So
we also don't have access to our avatar right now. So
yeah, Gretchen is kind of like really missing. This is all like out of character. Gretchen is really missing the mind link right now because like so useful.
Did Troy Redford was she the previous prince, and Victor took over after she went missing, or am I
Yeah,
misunderstanding
and
what
it's a
her role
complete
was?
change up of the political structure. She belonged to a group that called themselves Anarchs, that still uphold like the Masquerade, but a lot less of like the traditions of old, and are like the new age kind of, might makes right to a certain degree. Things happen. We gotta be a group, more communal on what's kind of going on.
And based on the way that Rebecca talked about it, that Victor is definitely a step either backwards or worse, from the way that Redford ran
It's
things.
yeah. She just said that she just kind of disagrees with the camera way of running, like Victor running the city, and preferred Tory.
Can I roll an empathy to know if she's being polite and she actually absolutely despises the guy, or but you don't want to be offensive to the prince?
Yeah, perception plus empathy. Difficulty of 6.
Okay. No, actually a great roll, but I don't have this one built. Yeah, 1.
Yeah, you get like a sense that she doesn't trust Victor and had some kind of bond with Tori. But she's also seems to be very distracted by something else altogether. And that seems to be almost like overbearing and everything, is that she seems to be very distracted, and thinking about like 20 things at the same time that she's talking to you.
Okay, I'll keep an eye on her, see if her mood changes, but that sounds good.
Do we know what clan Rebecca Troy is? Either in-game or out of game?
She is Tremere.
Okay, she's
In
the
game,
Tremere.
you know that, and you know that she is also has connections and ties to the Order of Hermes, and may have been around during the time of being is rumored to be a mage from that time period.
Oh.
Like the
Right.
17th century, 16th century.
Is that when the technocracy split off, or is that after? I feel like that's after.
Well, that's like right around the time the technocracy appeared, right around the time that the Crusades happened, and then also with or not Crusades, but the Inquisition happens.
Mhm.
And then like the fighting back against the darkness, you know, like bringing the Age of Enlightenment and stuff like that. So there is a correlation that's kind of happening there, but this is like when basically a big rebellion happened in the vampire world, and it split off. They're the Camarilla. And or sorry, then the Tremere were the created during that kind of this time period of upheaval of all of the different groups, and the Tremere used to be hermetic mages and have become vampires. And your characters would only have a very basic grasp of what even that means, anyways, because it'd be pretty much that in a report. So, you guys have arrived. Any other questions before you guys get into the Elysium?
Are we supposed to bring something for the prince?
No. Just
just
a
have to present
promise
ourselves?
that you will cause no problems inside the city, and he'll give you a little bit more of how he runs things. Let's
Okay.
just say that he can be a little bit of a prick, but just don't piss him off. He'll be fine. You don't need to cower to him. You also don't need to question his authority in his system, in his city.
I want to stay low
They were
profile.
pretty good.
All right, and she kind of like picks up the pace a little bit as she was kind of taking her time as you guys were walking through the multiple basements to get down to the final like just small brick hallway that looks like it's was made a long time ago, hundreds of years ago. Well, not hundreds, maybe like 100 or 200. 200.
I think this town is that old.
Can't remember off the top of my head right now what medicine was declared. It would be around 1860 or so. This was created. All right, so you guys arrive at there is a solid iron door that has like a peep area, and she just smacks her fingers onto the locking mechanism, and it kind of turns and opens up for her. And you see into what looks like another nightclub. And it's very similar kind of to the upstairs kind of feel. Only you see that there is a man behind the bar, and there's only one tap, and it's just says blood. There is multiple.
To label it?
What's that? Yeah, they have to label it.
Did they need to label it?
Just to make sure
Right,
that you
if there's
know.
only one tap.
Hey guys, what's this?
Yes, some people are stupid, okay, you know. Anyways, she tells you also that the city does have a synthetic as you guys kind of walk in, and she kind of points out the bartender and says you can get blood from the bartender. It is synthetic blood that we have procured for the city of Madison. It is not an unlimited supply, so we do request for $1,000 per drink. But you are always welcome to have some of our synthetic blood. And a drink has like 3 blood points in it. But you guys probably aren't hungry at all right now. But you could drink above what you already have just to feel good about drinking. It's kind of intoxicating.
How many? Did you say 1,000 or 4,000 per drink?
1,000 per drink.
Oh, okay. I guess it's not that bad.
I mean, I'm not hungry, so.
If you do have any kind of cash problems, there's always different jobs that can be done around the city. You can always talk to the bartender. There are many vampires that have come to the city just visiting that didn't understand the policy and were not very, and multiple of them have not had money. So we've kind of built a system of different tasks that can be done around the city in order to pay for your vampiric needs. Think of it as civil duty or civil service.
I believe it's called a barter system.
That too.
I imagine that had to cut down on the Masquerade infractions just by having it be offered.
It is one of the main reasons why we have a as large of a population of vampires as we do. So let me point out the different people that are here at the bar. So she points over at what looks to be a woman in a purple like pantsuit. She's, you know, got the like twirled up dishwater blonde hair, natural color, but in kind of like a work bun. She is drinking one of the cups of vampire or of synthetic blood slowly, and is talking with what seems to be another much shorter blonde in very like revealing clothing, very kind of artwork of clothing that like kind of makes like a you'd see almost on like the like a black dress with kind of like this stuff kind of coming off of it that is more of like rope or some kind of fabric, something that you'd see at like the Oscars or whatever, you know, those crazy but one is he says, or she says, Devin is the damn it, they're not chairman anymore, they're primogen. She's the primogen of the Toreador, for the Toreador of this city. She is the younger of the 2 Toreador sisters. They've had a relationship of love and hate with each other in large competition, and is a major influencer in Madison's high society. The other is, or sorry, that's Devin. Tridel, Tridel Mayor, and then Charity Mayor. Charity Mayor is the older of the two sisters. She's embraced first as a child, and she kind of makes it so that it is probably about 15 years of age, and she's kind of done up her makeup so that she looks a little bit older. But she was embraced as a small child, but it's hard to kind of make out. There, she is the harpy of the city and has recently claimed the title of being a harpy, which pretty much is think of them as like the person that documents everything that is going on. She's the one who will be taking down your name, who your sire's name is, and any other information that she can get out of you. Be very careful with talking to the harpy about anything that you don't want other people to know, because there's a very high possibility that that information is being used to get favors and help and money of all sorts. But also, if you're looking for information, the harpy is a great person to go to. And to shun her is also very dangerous. So tread carefully with the harpy. You see, and she points over at another man that's kind of sitting at a table. It's got a chessboard out, and you see that he's hopping from one chair to the other, playing chess against himself, and spending, a good long time taking a move. In fact, in the amount of time that she's kind of talked so far, he's only taken like 2 moves the entire time. She says, "That's Kyle Schumer. He is a Malkavian. Don't mind him. He says that he was abducted by aliens and brought to strange worlds and had interactions with the Zamisi, and he's kind of gone off the deep end for even Malkavians these days. He's always talked about Golconda and this quest to become human, but also about the end of times, and keeps a book that he says that it has all of the information of everything that has ever happened. Quite mad, but
do we recognize him?
Yes, he's totally the guy you kidnapped.
Out of character, I was like, "Is it Kyle 1?" But I can't say anything because Gretchen never met him, so excited.
You do see for a moment where he looks over at you and he gives this weird nod to you, but then goes right back into his chess game. It's almost as if he recognized you guys as the aliens that abducted him. It didn't really give a fuck and went back to playing chess. The others that live in the city here are Jan Nunn, and she kind of gestures over to a shadow in the bar and says, "You might not see her much, but she is the Nosferatu Primogen of the city. She is publicly ex-Sabbat, which is a group of vampires that don't believe in the Masquerade and believe in open rule of humans, but also they understand, that's not as easy as one, does without some form of a masquerade. So, although they don't necessarily cover their tracks as much as we do, they are still aware of entities of like us and the technocracy and stuff in order to protect themselves. She is a source of great secrets, but watch yourself. And if you're only seeing a shadow, that is because she has some of the most powerful obfuscate abilities in all of the kindred of the city.
Can I see her?
No.
I look in the general direction that Becca is pointing at, and I nod.
You see for like a glimmer a cloaked figure, old time, or well, like kind of like a hoodie, with like a just a chilling kind of attitude about it, like appear for just a second and then kind of disappear back into the
Respect
shadows.
it.
Let's see here. Then there is Borislava, the Bruja of the city, and she kind of points at him. He's over on the bar, kind of just relaxing. One of the three, or he is a primogen for the Bruja of the city, has control over several small businesses, both minor and major gangs of the city, and has strong ambitions of trying to take over the city. He is normally a supporter of the Anarchs, but has been able to make an alliance with Victor recently in backing him for control over the city after they lost Tory Redford. And this is something that seems to be odd to me as well. And I believe that's everybody except for the Gangrel used to be part of our grouping here, but ever since she's gone missing, there hasn't been much representation for the local vampires. Any questions before I introduce, or before Victor gets here?
Did you say that Borislava, it would be safe to say that he desires the princeship?
I would say so, yes.
And then he seemed to make a deal with Victor to make sure that Victor ended up as the prince in the chaos of Redford's missing?
Yes.
Okay. That, good to know. May be useful.
The Toreadors that you talked about earlier, I believe it's Devin Tridell and Charity Muir.
Mayor, yep.
Mayor. And one of them is the Harpy. Harpy runs Elysium, correct?
To a certain degree, there can be a person that's designated as the person that runs Elysium, actually, which would be the bartender, basically. And we've never kind of given the name to the Elysium runner.
I just thought it was one of the Toreadors that ran it. And so Devin Tridell is just the Toreador primogen?
Yes.
And which one of them is the 15-year-old girl?
That would be Charity.
All right.
She's the one that dressed like artwork?
Yes.
And did you say she was the Harpy?
Yes.
Okay. I'm fully caught up.
All right, I think I'm ready to be a vampire.
Well, there is a few more that will be arriving soon here. So as they arrive, I will kind of point them out to you. They usually only stick around for a very short amount of time during these proceedings, so they will arrive more closer to when Victor arrives, perhaps even after him. Um, and as she kind of speaks, there is a so there is a man that kind of walks in. He is a all in a suit jacket, all very well off, suit and tie, a little bit heavier set, shorter, um, and she points to him and says, or kind of gestures to you to look over at his way and says, "Ah, that is Brando Giovanni. He is a local representative for the local Giovanni, a group of necromancers that have strong mafia connections. He's actually been able to gain control over the airport of Madison and has been known to be a key to entering and exiting Madison, um, or more of a you won't be able to get in without him knowing. And he's been able to maintain this deal ever since its creation.
The airport?
Yes.
Out of character. Isn't that like our turf?
Technically, very close. You have the Air Force or the National Guard base, basically, that's right there as well.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Um,
that's like where I'm from too. It's like right next to the airport. Okay, gotcha. But this is the son of the bitch that keeps his ghoul like trying to kill us. So, not having my stoic personality, I kind of make like a Kermit the Frog unhappy face when everything's going wrong in the Muppet Theater at the mentions of his story and name and such.
I noticed that and I tapped my cane twice.
I snap out of it.
And then Victor King comes in and she points him out. He's got the kind of slicked back corporate, 90s, 2000s, everyman's haircut, basically, with a little bit of slick back. He has like a very strong and bold appearance to him. He's got, very strong predominant rings with his crest on there of a dragon and a wolf like fighting each other. Um, he takes a seat over on the stage. There is a seat for obviously the prince, the leader of the city, and he ends up taking a seat. And there's like a bunch of people start walking up to him. A lot of Kyle Schumer stays where he's at playing chess with himself and doesn't seem to interact at all. Both Devin and Charity walk up to him and have an argument that they're having about something that Victor is now becoming in the middle of. Brando Giovanni just kind of waits over and buys a cup of blood. And Jan Nunn stays over in her corner. Possibly, maybe not. Who knows when it comes to those Nosferatu. She might be gone now. She might be here still. And then Boris.
She might be right behind you.
She's got you! Stab you!
It's just sorry. That was just a joke. The door was open, and I walked through the entryway. So continue. I apologize.
And Boris walks up. He is also kind of considered the seneschal, but is not given a specific second in command, and also holds the Primogen title of Madison. There are a few other vampires throughout the city, but these are the most important ones.
Who is the sheriff? That's the only thing I.
Oh,
Is there not a sheriff anymore?
Well,
It's
they
the only
don't.
thing I know about vampire.
They don't really have. Well, anarchs don't have a sheriff, but they do have other.
Okay.
They have like the arbiters. So that would have been really Victor's job back in the day. Um,
And he didn't appoint
and along with.
anyone to that,
So
even though
yeah, let me
he's more
change.
Camarilla.
Yeah, I wish I would have gotten down exactly what we have this all in Camarilla Speak at one point, I thought. Anyways, because this is like a change of government that just happened recently.
Yeah, but is he still
Um,
using like a hybrid form of Anarch and Camarilla, or is he trying to go like full cam?
He's trying to make it full cam, so he would have appointed somebody to be
It's like
the sheriff,
temporarily Kyle.
and probably would then fall to the Bruja as well.
Okay.
So he would be so Boris would be considered the sheriff, the seneschal, and the seneschal of the city, and the primogen of the Bruja clan.
What is a seneschal?
Seneschal is like second in command of the city. If the prince leaves, he kind of takes command, or vice president, stuff like that.
Oh, okay, no, that makes sense.
All right, Rebecca, we heard all the stories. When do you finally introduce us? And she says it with the like most like intense air quotes. Like not big, she's not using her whole arms, but she's just like she does not like Tremere, and she's just like trying to do her mission. But she's like, introduce air quotes.
Well, give it just a little bit of a minute here, and I will allow for the mayor girls to fight with each other with him for just a minute while I assess a few things here. But I believe I will be introducing you in the next couple minutes here. Unless there is a
Do you
reason
guys
you
do
feel
this
I should delay.
like every night?
I mean, not everybody arrives every night, but I called a forum for introducing you. I am the primogen of the Tremere clan. And I will let it be known that there are visitors that are members of our society that have come to Madison, and that I vouch for your validity.
Cool.
Does a minute actually mean a minute here, or does it like a vampire minute like an hour because you guys have
No, a minute's a minute.
immortality? Okay.
Minute's a minute. Oh, I can. In fact, here, she just walks up and she says, "Follow me." Victor, she calls out as the mayor girls are, screeching at him, and he seems to be like rubbing his temple. You see him kind of light up actually with, yes, Tori, you said that, or I'm sorry, Rebecca, you said that you had guests that were going to be coming to the city. And the two girls just stop. The two sisters stop arguing at that point because they seem to have like a level of respect with Rebecca, even though she's interrupting. They do kind of seem pissed off a little bit though that she is interrupting and that it's bad manners. You see Charity like take out and document the incident.
Supreme Karen.
You do notice that Kyle doesn't seem to care about anything and goes about his workings here. And he says, "So, introduce yourselves. What is your clan and who is your sire?"
My name is Cash Noir, and my sire is Vanessa York. I am of the Toreador clan.
And he points to Petrie.
Out of game. I totally forgot to pick a sire name. I'm gonna pick it or say it randomly right now. Okay, hold on.
No, Josh gave us sire
Yeah, I
names.
thought I gave you the sire name, but if you didn't write it down, then I
Oh,
it.
was it okay?
You can just make it up. It doesn't matter.
There it is. Nope, I found it. It is so cringy, but I love it because it's so early 2000s. Okay. Greetings. My name is Petrie, or you could call me by my business name, PD. My sire was named the Shadow, and I'm Nosferatu.
Ah, yes, the Shadow. I remember it well. Many stories of the Nosferatu Shadow. And he points to Greta.
And she'll just like cross her arms and sigh and kind of like look around, and she's like, "My name's Greta, and my sire was Bone Crusher." And she'll kind of take a stance that's like a little bit like she'll put her shoulders back and toss her hair, and she goes, "I'm PD's bodyguard."
Very good, very good.
Bruja. Yeah.
And points to Mako.
Howdy, I'm Mako. My sire was Alexander. I'm sure you've know of him.
Nods.
Oh, I figured. Well, that is a shame. He's a good guy.
And did you say that you were part of the...
I'm also a Ventru. I forgot to say that.
And
in a
then,
more reasonable cadence.
Cash. Or no, Cash already went, right?
Yeah, Cash went first.
Yes. I want everybody to roll charisma plus etiquette.
Fuck. I debated on putting points in etiquette, and I said, nope, I won't need it.
Difficulty? Is 6.
Yeah. Okay.
Is a straight charisma roll allowed without etiquette?
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
This is going to be a fun die.
The difficulty again?
Super nope.
Difficulty
made
is 6.
sense. That made sense.
All right, so everybody does fairly well. Phaedra doing very well. Yes, I was gonna get to that. So Cash very well at 3 successes, 1 success.
I had max successes. It sounds better if you say it that way.
Yeah, max successes. But Greta, just kind of is defiant a little bit.
Does it help that I have appearance 4? Like, does that
Um,
help?
I'll allow you to roll.
Appearance was my dump stat.
I'll allow you to roll appearance instead of
Okay.
charisma.
Okay.
The hair flick was very effective.
Yeah. You said target number 6.
Yeah, I'll make a target number 6 for the appearance roll.
Okay.
Appearance plus etiquette.
No, I don't
Unless
have
you can.
etiquette. Why would I have that? Oh no, I have no successes again. Just ignore what it says.
Yeah,
I rolled all 3s and all 4s.
I pat her shoulder and say, "Excuse my bodyguard. She means well."
The one thing that you do notice is that the harpy takes this all down, but he doesn't seem to react at that point at all. But I'm gonna say you kind of got a little bit out of control with being more defensive actually, and I don't know. It's not. It's more that I mean it's not really that bad. It's just a note inside maybe a heartbeat journal that you're a little mouthy.
Not impressed by the prince.
Not impressed.
Prince not enthused from not being impressed that he's the prince.
Don't give a fuck about you.
It's those games that do the thing where the video games that do the friendship tracker, and
Oh
you
yeah.
like and you all
You
of a
lost.
loose you like you're not like they don't hate you all of a sudden like everyone in like Elder Scrolls, but like
Right.
somehow you lost like 25 points in the track and you're like, what did I do? You know, kind of thing.
You just rubbed him the wrong fucking way when you talked to
Yeah.
him. Everybody else is passed with flying colors. And he just asks, how long will you be staying in the city? Or will you be taking permanent residency?
Permanent residence, no, but I believe we discussed at least a few weeks, maybe a couple months.
Yeah, that's what we agreed upon.
Go ahead and make a charisma plus subterfuge.
I can do that. Charisma's
Well, this
4.
would be cash, I believe. What it was saying this. Ooh.
Couple of months.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're
It
fine.
was also a very good roll.
Says very good. Well, you are welcome in our city. There are a few rules that we do have. We do have synthetic blood, and we prefer for you to have a way of obtaining your blood without causing any disruptions. The State Street and Capitol Square are off limits completely from feeding. And different districts are controlled by different groups. But be most aware that the parks are the as well off limits in Madison. So no feeding in our parks, no feeding on State Street, no feeding on the Capitol Square or the homeless. But you can pretty much feed in any of the bars or taking home prey to your hotels or makeshift. Just do not murder unless you are able to fully cover your tracks. Anything that can be traced back to you or causing chaos within our city, such as a mass murderer that you would just want to make up or become, is not allowed. We run a very tight ship here in the city, and with synthetic blood available to you and your own resources that you should be able to muster, we expect everybody to keep the death rate unbelievably low. for the amount of kindred that we have in the city. Follow all of the 6 traditions, and we won't have a problem. Any questions?
Is feeding around here okay?
Inside of the bar and or outside of Elysium, yes. There is no fighting that can ever happen inside of Elysium, and you're not no bringing of mortals, of course, into the Elysium. This kind of goes to the bar above. However, if you feed inside of the bar, as long as you are very careful about it, as stated, deaths and murders and these problems, you will have to cover up yourself or fear the might of us covering it up for you and considering it a breach of the Masquerade.
But having a little fun with, I don't know, someone in an alley nearby, that'd be okay? Just don't want to kill him? Anything?
Yes.
Don't want to draw too much attention? All right. That sounds like you run a very reasonable and tight ship here, sir.
Well, thank you.
Yes, and who would I talk to about tiptoeing around old bookstores?
You would probably want to talk to the Tremere then. I believe that is the or the primogen that has introduced you to the city and is vouching for you.
Yes.
Travel.
Yes, I will speak to her about that then.
Anyways, I have a meeting that we are going to be taking in private in the back room here in a little bit. Nothing that you need to concern yourself about, but feel free to have drinks and make friends with any other vampires that come into the Elysium tonight.
I nod.
And then they all go, pretty much all of the primogen go back in except for, no, including Kyle actually goes into the meeting that's going on here as well. So that leaves just Giovanni, and it does look like the Harpy would have stayed, the Charity. Your contact, the Tremere, went into the into the meeting.
Did we ever have a physical copy of Kyle's so-called book?
Did you guys?
Or did we only see it? Yeah, did we only see it in visions?
Like,
I don't believe so.
I don't think that you guys got a physical copy of it.
Okay.
I thought that you guys read it and then went on a trip through time with him, but I don't think that we copied it.
Well, no, I think weren't we inside his head?
Yes.
And he had it in his vision.
Oh, you're right. It was he was holding it inside of his head, and that's when you went through the
There was never a physical copy.
Yeah, if there was a physical copy, Phaedra would have already went insane by now, because the curiosity of reading it would have been too much.
That is.
Yeah, it's like the Darkhold.
It's called the
Well, anyway,
Python.
Anyway, so one of the reasons I asked about tiptoeing around old bookstores is that's my cover. Is I'm going to negotiate with vampires to look around their territories and see if I can find old clues to artifacts or stuff like that.
All right, nice. Yeah.
But none of them are around, so just chill.
Wait, does anybody order the synthetic blood? I don't think anybody needs to, so it's a waste of $1,000.
I don't know. What can I buy with 2 dots and resources? You think I could buy around it for the table?
I think could get a sample.
For
Good
how many?
shots.
$2,000?
I should probably save up my money for now. I should have asked him if it was okay for me to start dealing in the city. I mean, it should be fine.
That would be something
Bartender still here?
that you'd want to take up with the Bruja in this city. They kind of run the so that would be Boris.
Is the bartender still here?
The bartender is still there. We're gonna say that that's a, like you said, it's a Toreador. It's the Elysium procurer.
I would like to go talk to him.
Ah, yes.
Hello,
Welcome.
I'm Cashvar.
Nice to meet you. I am David.
Pleased to meet you, David. I have a question because I have never encountered it before. Many, many years of being one of us. This synthetic blood. Would I be able to purchase some of it and then take it out of this place, or is it to all be consumed here?
There is to-go bags.
Bags, yes. Yes, that would be the terminology one would use. It's just, so rare. Yes, I would like a to-go bag, please.
Ah, yes. How much would you like?
One, please.
What?
It's just
One
like a
one
Leslie
blood.
Nielsen movie.
It's like, hello, I'd like one, please, of the thing that you serve.
We vampires. Do you like my vampire name? Good. How much vampiring can we do tonight?
Been a vampire for many years.
Many,
What it
many
is.
years. Dozens of years. No, you're doing great, Mike. Sorry, it was just
Oh no, I'm trying to
a
play
lot of
it
levels
awkward.
there.
I want to see what Frozen is gonna let us do. Also, can we just say I have money from somewhere, from the petty cash or
Yeah,
whatever?
from the petty cash you guys have, I'll say like
Okay,
20,000.
Okay, I will give him the $1,000 and put a bag of synthetic blood in my coat pocket.
All right, so you got 3 portable blood points in your pocket.
Cool. Just go back, sit down with the rest of the group.
I tap Greta's shoulder and give her some money and tell her to go get 2 for herself and myself as well.
Okay, boss.
All right, not a problem.
I'll go up to the bar and I'll lean. I'll do that, like, lean over, like, hand on hip, one elbow while I'm waiting. And I'll look kind of annoyed. And I'll do that thing where you kind of, like, suck your lips in. And since she has, like, vampire teeth now, she kind of, like, messes with her one vampire tooth as she's, like, grazing her tongue across her teeth. And, she's just gonna kind of tap her foot until the bartender comes.
It sounds like you guys are looking to get a lot to go bags here. Might you be interested in a larger supply that I could give you if you could accomplish something for me?
How much are we talking?
I can give you, and I don't remember what the ratio is for this, so he'll give you guys 20 blood points that will be portable and that you could come and pick it up later, or chunks at a time, basically.
Oh, well, let's say 21 because you said one bag was 3,
Oh
so
yeah,
that's like 7 bags.
we'll say 30. 30.
Okay. Okay.
28.
I'm listening.
Well, there's been a series of murders that have happened in Madison as of late. We believe that it might be connected to some kind of vampire or some kind of kindred that has not announced themselves to the prince, and has gone rogue. It might also belong to some of our more boogeymen activities that haven't happened for a long time, but things seem to be changing as of late. Perhaps Brandy Madison really is come back to take the city, um, but that's a very unlikely. All we're asking for you to do is to investigate into the crimes deeper than the base cover-ups that we had to perform here, and to find out who is the um, perpetrator that are doing these murders, whether they are kindred or not, and to report to the sheriff, Boris.
Sure. Why not? Is there a reason why you're asking an out of towner though and you're not doing it yourself? It seems like you have a lot of able-bodied people around here and she'll like look around and
Well, I have many activities that need to be done throughout the city, and I usually leave the tasks, or I've put it this way, we've built a system in this city that allows me to be aware of different masquerade breaches and or activities or things that need to be done for the city in exchange for blood. This goes out to visitors, especially people that are looking to get large quantities of blood, um, and tasks that need to be done throughout the city. Why do I do this specifically? Because I find it is prestigious and good to help those that are out there, and I like being a bartender, meeting many of the people who like to do tasks throughout this city. Madison is a different place. We are 77 square miles surrounded by reality, and even the vampire community takes this to heart.
so you'll see Greta is just like leaning on the bar, like just looking at this Toreador, like primping and like just making this sound so important. She'd be like, God, if I had my Technocratic computer, I would have figured this out in 2 fucking days. So she's just like, uh-huh. So she's like, yeah, okay, sure. Why don't you give me the 2 I want right now as a down payment? And here I just thought any city outside New York was just built upon rock and roll. So good for you, my man.
He
Fanciest glass.
he
I don't want to
says,
drink it out of a bag. Fancy glass.
"Yes, not a problem." He also hands over um, 3 different profiles on 3 different murders that have happened throughout the city. We are coming to about 10 o'clock, so what I am going to do though is hold it there, and you guys will have. Um, I'll provide all this information once we get to um, next week. The um, Everybody go ahead and get 4 experience points. And is there anything else that you guys want to do before leaving the Elysium?
I'm going to take the 2 fancy glasses that I got sort of for free with the files under my arms. For or like the USB in my pocket, probably more like it. And take them over to PD and be like, and this is for next time, but I'm going to be like, take this over to the Giovanni. I don't need one. We have work to do. Boss. Is that okay, Phaedra?
For the blood or the files?
Oh,
The blood. The
I
blood.
had myself muted.
Oh.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I smile very wide and I say, well done. You know me very well.
Yeah. We, he has contacts in the police force, I heard. Let's go figure this out.
I have just been listening to the rambles of Kyle. Just enjoying watching him play chess against himself, and kind of his place got a good vibe. It's got a good vibe.
I think Kyle went in the other room.
Yeah.
No, he was the one who didn't.
No, I changed my mind on that. He did
He
go
went late.
because he has to go. Yeah, he went a little late.
Okay, and
I
I
think someone came back
apologize
and
for
got
missing
him.
that one.
So maybe you're looking on like if
Sticking
he's
about.
playing real chess, like he would be and he likes books. My dad is really big into chess. You can keep like notes, like movement notes.
Yep.
So you might be having a really good time looking at like the utter monstrosity that is his movement notes, perhaps.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I like that.
Were any of the movement notes just straight up illegal moves? Did he miss a?
Ooh, make a
All
perception
legal
plus
moves.
alertness. Difficulty of 8.
Okay, I have that one built. Perception, alertness. At in 8. Nope. No,
All right.
0.
Man. So you're not sure. You're like,
Yeah, I don't really know chess that well. There's a lot of
I
numbers and
wouldn't
letters
know.
that don't seem to make much sense.
There's one last thing that I want to do. Can I look at the files real quick? And I only want to know the answer to one question. Were we involved in the deaths of these people?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
open the files and I'm like, oh, thank God. Yeah.
Other
Oh,
Kyle.
shit. That's good. Yeah. Oh, yeah, might be other Kyle.
Yeah. And then we find out other Kyle has a clone, and we're just like, what? So.
One that I made?
How many clones did we
Oh,
make
yeah.
of this kid? And then
Only
program ourselves to not
technically cloned
remember
him one time.
that we remember.
Did we ever resolve that? I think we kind of left it up to like, hey, Kyle's figure out which one's gonna live, and then we.
No, I
don't know
think
that
I
we ever-
killed him once I remembered what was happening. I said, fuck. After
Okay.
I got severely injured protecting Kyle.
Yeah.
We
Yep.
we deprogrammed the clone, melted it back into clone goo or whatever. It's the
Okay.
official procedure.
All right.
Out of game, I really wanted to just be like, I hear that there's unsanctioned murders happening. Just wanted to sprint outside and head to that alley to see if there's a dead dude on the ground.
Yeah. I was
I mean,
a
we'll
little
obviously
sad
pick up
that I
the dude.
already like released that rat, or else I would have sent it in with the with Victor and the progenitors, or followed that guy. But oh well.
There's 2 shadowy creatures, I believe the rat said. And like 5 regular dudes all fucking with one dude.
Yeah, but it also could have just been like the harpies getting some food before they came in because they don't want to pay $1,000. Like,
Yeah, that's the other end of it. And then I was like kind of testing Victor to see if that action, like actively harassing a human right outside of the Elysium is a problem. And he's like, no, it's fine as long as you don't kill him. And I'm like, all right.
yeah.
Well.
It's like,
Then he
as
doesn't
long
need
as
to
you
know
don't
about
appear to
it.
be a serial killer or a copycat serial killer, we're like totally cool with this. Just don't do it on State Street. So now I'm interested in what's on State Street.
I was gonna ask about the campus specifically, like dorms and shit. But I decided that it's a bit more creepy than I want to be.
I believe that the campus is usually Tremere and Toreador kind of territory to a certain degree. Mostly Toreador control though. So, but yeah, campus would be, you have to be very careful. There's a lot of kids with connections to people. Don't
Oh,
fall.
that's fair. If I was playing a young, sexy vampire, I feel like the campus might be a lot of fun. If we're playing this game like 15 years ago, I'd probably have a lot of fun with that. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I feel like if we went on campus, like every 10th person we would pass would call you a different name from the way you set up your character. And we would have no idea what's
Well,
I have
especially after
multiple
everybody,
identities.
like, you got to give me 2 weeks to get that started, and then that's totally what it'll be.
like the stoners call you one thing, the cheerleaders call you something else, the science nerds call you a different name. What's going on?
Awesome. Anything else before we wrap it on up here?
No, I'm good.
That was a good first session. Good introduction to vampire.
Yeah, no fighting. No problems so far. You guys avoided fights, but maybe, maybe you guys
how long
missed
that'll-
out on just being able to churn your mission in right away. Oh, you mean this jackass right here?
Yeah.
I
mean,
had that
Gretchen is
thought.
like, why don't we diabolarize them all, become elder gods, and then when this body decays, just have a new clone diabolarize our own clone and just create a master army out of just one or two vampires for the technocracy. She's like, why has no one thought of this before? Since their rule, I know they're supposed to be based off of fiefdoms and stuff like that in medieval times, but their rules are pretty much my house, my rules, and you have to say hello when you enter. You can kind of put a little bit of an angry mom spin on a lot of them. So she was not having it. I am trying not to make this hard for you. I'm just
No, this is fine. I mean, it
She's
is a
little bit of a weird
technocratic
character.
game that we're
Yeah.
jumping into the body of the vampires that you guys are actually technically you guys could just strap bombs to yourselves and run in and blow stuff up and be like, all right, well, killed a bunch of vampires.
Yeah.
If I thought
Mission
that would actually work,
accomplished.
I would try that.
There is also a possibility that the plan you just described is exactly how Clan Tremere started. So, you never know.
They tried it,
Yeah, but we have
and they got stuck
clones.
in there.
I'm not destroying my avatar. There's just clones of clones.
That's
True.
what Tremere said.
I feel like we might have stumbled in the correct formula, whereas they probably did the exact same thing, but got stuck in the body of a vampire.
Yeah, I mean, hermetics are all forces and alchemy and stuff like that. I mean, as a true technocrat, you bring science into this, you bring a progenitor into this. We're not talking about lead into gold, man. We're talking about hit marks into elder vampires. So,
Now, who knows? Maybe
totally different.
if you're
That's
in a
what Gretchen
vampire
thinks.
for too long, then your avatar starts to decay. You need to have your constant active. It needs to be around you and on you, or it starts to go bad. And so if you're in a vampire for too long, like a year or something, I don't know, then all of a sudden, just like the spirit world, you can't really go back.
Yeah, so another thing Gretchen thinks that she can pull off is that she's a high enough mind mage and a high enough correspondence mage that she can split her attention and possibly run two bodies at once if she
That is
learns a little bit more
doable.
life. So she's plotting. She's plotting. There's a lot of new emotions with this vampire blood running through her veins. She's just wah, kind of thing. So, yeah, lots of new ideas. So, the beast. What can I say?
Times. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and drop on off. Thank you all for watching and listening, and have a great night.
Night, peeps.
Bye.
Correct. That was all on stream?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh. All right. Well, good night, everybody.
Yeah. We don't know how to say goodbye once again.